I know the American story. Again and again, I've seen the contest between competing forces in the battle for the soul of our nation. Between those who want to pull America back to the past and those who want to move America into the future. The issue facing our nation isn't how old we are, it's how old are our ideas. Hate, anger, revenge, retribution are the oldest of ideas. I see a future where defending democracy, you don't diminish it. I see a future where we restore the right to choose and protect our freedoms, where the middle class finally has a fair shot, and the wealthy have to pay their fair share in taxes. I see a future where we save the planet from the climate crisis and our country from gun violence. Above all, I see a future for all Americans. I see a country for all Americans. And I will always be president for all Americans. So let's build the future together. Let's remember who we are. We are the United States of America.
So there's a new ad that the Biden campaign cut this morning after a frankly amazing State of the Union speech last night, where the president laid out a very clear contrast between him and his predecessor. Now, we're going to show you some of that in just a second, but first we want to show you how the former president frantically responded and debunk essentially everything he said. Now, former President Trump was rage tweeting for hours last night, clearly panicked about President Biden's performance. We're not going to show you everything he said because we don't have all day, but a few of his most important issues, most important to his base and his campaign that he attacked Biden for, I think are very important because Biden not only refuted them in his speech, but Republicans in the Senate were actually caught on camera agreeing with President Biden in his refutation of the former president. So first, here's what Trump said immediately following the speech Biden gave. This was an angry, polarizing, and hate-filled speech. He barely mentioned immigration or the worst border in the history of the world. He will never fix immigration, nor does he want to. He wants our country to be flooded with migrants. Crime will raise to levels never seen before, and it is happening very quickly. Amazing, given Trump is personally instructing Republicans not to act on the border so he can benefit politically. Now, Biden addressed immigration directly in his speech, which we're going to show you. But first, the former president also released a lengthy video attacking Biden specifically on this issue again after his string of rage tweets, which we're going to show you a very condensed version of so you can really see how big of a liar he is on this issue.
Joe Biden is on the run from his record and lying like crazy to try and escape accountability for the horrific devastation he and his party have created. All the while, they continue the very policies that are causing this horror show to go. We cannot take it any longer as a country. Over the past 3 years, Biden has actively aided and abetted the importation of millions and millions of illegal alien migrants and resettled them into your communities. At any time during the past 3 years, crooked Joe Biden, and he is crooked as you can be and the most incompetent president we've ever had, could have called off the invasion. But to this day, he is keeping the hordes of illegal migrants and illegal aliens pouring into the country. My priority is securing our border and sending crooked Joe's illegals back home.
Now, as you know, Biden and Democrats came to the table and they negotiated a border security deal with Republicans, a deal that Fox News' own chief political correspondent called the most conservative border deal ever, a deal that was supported by the Trump-supporting head of the Border Patrol Union, and Republicans essentially derailed as soon as Democrats agreed they were willing to come to the table to govern. Here's President Biden last night talking about that, and if you pay attention, you'll see James Lankford, the Republican border hawk from Oklahoma, nodding along with Biden, saying, "That's true," in response to Biden's claims about how their bill would have secured the border.
In November, my team began serious negotiation with a bipartisan group of senators. The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen. Oh, you don't think so? Oh, you don't like that bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing. That bipartisan bill would hire 1,500 more security agents and officers, 100 more immigration judges to help tackle the backload of 2 million cases, 4,300 more asylum officers, and new policies so they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of 6 years now. What are you against?
A genuinely remarkable camera shot of the right-wing Republican James Lankford, who helped negotiate the deal with Democrats to strengthen the border, which is what Republicans have been asking for right before they, of course, derailed it because Trump said it would hurt his election chances. Trump and the MAGA faction of the party never let governing and actually delivering on their promises get in the way of their naked ambition for power. And as usual, they're willing to sacrifice the well-being of the country for their own political interests. In this case, they're making the calculation, look, if we don't act on the border and create chaos, we can run on solving that chaos. Cynical, sociopathic, and disgusting. But that wasn't all Trump accused President Biden of last night. Shockingly, he put out this image of the president accusing him of being endorsed by Vladimir Putin. Now, there's frankly too much video footage of Trump praising Putin to show, but this 30 seconds of Trump lauding him as a genius and Putin saying he explicitly is rooting for Trump to win probably does this the most justice.
President Putin is sharp.
Oh, I like Putin. President Putin was a total gentleman.
I have good political instinct.
Putin called me brilliant. I like it.
President Putin, did you want President Trump to win the election?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And here was President Biden's comments on Ukraine and Putin last night, where he basically said the world is at a place where we haven't been since World War II, when another maniacal dictator was invading countries across Europe until the Allied powers stepped in to stop them.
If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure you he will not. But Ukraine can stop Putin. Ukraine can stop Putin if we stand with Ukraine and provide the weapons that needs to defend itself. That is all. That is all Ukraine is asking. They're not asking for American soldiers. In fact, there are no American soldiers at war in Ukraine, and I'm determined to keep it that way. But now, assistance to Ukraine is being blocked by those who want to walk away from our world leadership. It wasn't long ago when a Republican president named Ronald Reagan thundered, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Now, my predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, quote, "Do whatever the hell you want." That's a quote. A former president actually said that, bowing down to a Russian leader. I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable.
Yeah, Biden is the guy Putin wants. Never mind Putin said he wants Trump. Trump said he'd let Putin invade Europe and encourage him to do so. The gaslighting is simply unreal here. Now, finally, one of the best lines of the night, and I'm sure something that will be put in GIFs and reaction videos for a long time, is President Biden saying he's going to stop anyone who comes for Social Security, which many Republicans want to do. You heard Nikki Haley talk about that at length on the campaign trail. Republicans have been talking about cutting these quote-unquote entitlements like Social Security and Medicare for decades.
Tonight, let's all agree once again to stand up for seniors. Many of my friends on the other side of the aisle want to put Social Security on the chopping block. If anyone here tries to cut Social Security, Medicare, or raise the retirement age, I will stop you.
So a powerful speech by President Biden, and one final comment that the former president did make, which happens to be true. What a contrast between Democrats and Republicans. That certainly is the case. The contrast could not be more stark. With Really American, I'm Justin Horwitz. Be sure to like, subscribe, set notifications. We've got a ton planned going into the election, and we can't do it without you. Thanks.